Hi everyone! Today I'm going to show you how to work with the new PSD files that I'm going to start doing for some of the images that need to have a little bit more work in regards to making them look realistic, and that's normally the images where you've got added sun rays or added elements. So what you see here is the finished image. Actually, it's got an extra layer that I didn't use, but it's on the PSD file in the store. So I'm just going to talk you through how to work with the PSD images. First of all, if you look on the top right hand side, you will see all the layers on the PSD. When you first get the file, it will be a zip file that you'll unzip, and when you unzip it and you open it in Photoshop, it will be blank. There'll be nothing there. So your first job is to switch all the layers on. The baby layer will not be there. Where the baby layer is at the moment, there will be another layer that will say replace this layer with your baby. And the reason why is because obviously you don't want to be given a file with somebody else's baby. The idea behind the PSDs is that you can play with those layers and you can add bits and pieces that you want without being forced to do so like you do on a flattened template. So you might just want, for example, the rainbow and you don't want the sun rays, and that's fine. So I'll talk you through those layers very quickly and you can see what each one of them does. So this is the Cloud9 backdrop. It's available in the store without the layers, just as a flattened PSD. So this is the layered version. So I already have my baby in there. So this tutorial is not about how to composite a baby in. This baby was shot on a simple white blanket, cream blanket actually. There was no fluff underneath, and yeah, it was a pretty simple composite. But I'll do that in another video. So to the layers, what I have here, this layer which says place above baby layer. So what you can see here is I've added just a little bit of extra cloud, which means that if you can't quite get that join right where the baby joins the cloud, excuse me, for any reason, then this could be a little bit of a cheat just to cover up that fact. And this layer, if you select it, it's movable. So just grab your move tool, top left, and you can see this is just some fluff. Well, it's actually the clouds, so you can move it, you can strategically place it over the edge. The reason it's got some see-through bits is because clouds are not necessarily solid, so it makes it more realistic. And remember, you can play with the opacity, so you can just have a little bit of a, so if you look top right, you can have it, 50%, 100%, however you like. So this is not an essential layer, it's just there to go over the join if you wanted to. I don't mind it, I'm pretty happy with the composite, but I probably might use a little bit just to, I don't know, give it a little bit of a je ne sais quoi. Okay, next layer is the rainbow for all those lovely rainbow babies. So you can see the rainbow at the moment is on screen mode. So if you haven't used blending modes are fantastic. You should really learn how to use them if you can, if you find the time, but you can play over here. So by default the rainbow will be in screen mode. Again, you can play with the opacity of the rainbow, so you can make it less pronounced if you want to, very gentle. So top right, if you look, all I'm doing is moving the opacity slider. And then you can also play with the blending mode. So for example, it's 100% at the moment on screen. If you put it on normal mode, you'll see that it's obviously very pronounced. Then you could go to soft light. It's really up to you. It's whatever looks good to you. But it will be in screen mode at 100%, and you just need to adjust opacity accordingly. The other thing that you can add is some white rays, which I have popped here, and they are right there. So again, you can switch this on and off. When you switch it on, it will be at, I don't know, 80%, 100%, whatever it's going to be at. You can change the opacity, so you can have a bit of a gentle effect, or you can have a more pronounced effect. That's on normal mode. You can go to screen mode. Actually in screen it hasn't made any difference because it's the same effect. Soft light. So again, you can play with the blending modes. You can do whatever you want to. But yeah, opacity is really probably the one that you want to play with. The reason why you have this layer and it's above the baby layer is because when you are doing composites where you've got a bit of diffusion and you have no option to put the baby anywhere but on top of the rays, what you'll end up with is an image where you've got lots of diffusion but the baby isn't diffused. What this does is actually makes baby more part of the image because the rays are going over the baby, and you can actually paint off the rays of the baby's face if you want to, but I don't want to because I actually think it makes the image look a little bit more believable. But you know, feel free to do that if that's what you want to do. And then the last layer is called clouds over rainbow. So we've got the rainbow layer. You can see over here and over here that's sort of sitting over the clouds, which again, to make it a little bit more believable, we've got a layer with just the clouds. So it looks like the rainbow is actually partially behind them. So all I've done is just made sure that the clouds are a little bit more pronounced, and now it looks like that rainbow is, you know, in front of some and behind some of the others. Again, this is completely up to you. I mean, obviously that's to pronounce at 100%, but you know, how strong you want this is entirely up to you. I would say probably quite a low opacity. But yeah, so essentially you've got lots of different layers, lots of little adjustments. If we switch all the layers off and just have the original image, there's the baby. We can just switch the rainbow off. We can switch the rainbow off, just switch the rays on. That's really sweet. We can just make the clouds more pronounced. We can just do the join where the baby joins the cloud, and you know, you can play, and that's the beauty of the PSD files, is that you can play and you can make your own decisions. But obviously the first step will be that you composite your baby into the backdrop, and then you can flatten down, so just have the baby layer switched on and the original backdrop, and you can just go to merge down, which will basically join your baby and the backdrop, and then you can play with the effects. But you know, what order you do it in is completely up to you. I hope this helps. If you have any questions with these new PSDs, I know it's a bit more complicated than the flattened files, but again, it should be nice and quick. I say that in every video. Composites, the purpose of them is not to make your life more difficult, but to make your life easier. So if you're struggling or you're unsure about something, join the group, ask some questions, and we'll try to help. That's it for now. Thank you for watching.